Originally developed for the United States Navy by McDonnell Aircraft, the F-4 Phantom II is a long-range interceptor and fighter bomber. But it was later also adopted by the Marine Corps and the Air Force. The United States of America, it was widely used during the Vietnam War, serving as the main air superiority fighter in both the Navy and the Air Force. And it also played an important role in ground attack and reconnaissance missions. When its production ended in '81, 5,195 had been built. Phantom I being the most numerous American supersonic combat aircraft ever built. Welcome to a new video from the Aeropedia of the world of aviation. The origins of the F-4 come from a competition in '53 by the United States Navy, from an upgrade of the F-3 Demon. Although the Vogue F-8 Crusader won the contract, the Super Demon, the name given to the upgraded aircraft that was going to participate in this contract, evolved into an all-weather multi-role fighter designated F-4H, and notice the similarity between this and what would become its predecessor. Since the Navy had already chosen the A-4 Skyhawk for ground attacks and the F-8 Crusader as a fighter, the project would have to fill the need for an all-weather carrier-based interceptor. The addition of a large radar required a second crew member, and it was decided that it would only be armed with missiles.
The first prototype was designed to carry 4 Sparrow missiles under the fuselage and was powered by 2 J-79 engines.
The same ones used by the F-104 Starfighter and the B-58 Hustler, which we already have a video about on the channel. The first flight of the F-4 took place in '58, and it remained in production until '81. It was a twin-engine design, serving as a supersonic interceptor and fighter bomber. It had a maximum takeoff weight of 28 tons and a range of 680 kilometers, with the internal fuel tanks. Its maximum speed was 2,370 kilometers per hour, and it had 9 hardpoints to carry up to 8,500 kilograms of armament. Even though the Phantom is a large fighter with a maximum takeoff weight of over 28,000 kilograms, it is capable of reaching a maximum speed close to Mach 2.23 and a climb rate of 210 meters per second. It can carry more than 8,400 kilograms of armament on 9 external hardpoints, including air-to-air missiles, air-to-surface missiles, and various types of bombs. The F-4, like other interceptors of its time, was designed without an internal cannon, which, by the way, was its biggest shortcoming. At that time, it was expected that the use of missiles would eliminate the need for direct combat, but in later versions, it incorporated an external M61 Vulcan rotary cannon. The wings have a characteristic sawtooth design to improve control at high angles of attack. It's also interesting how in the air intakes or inlet diffusers, there are 2 plates that change their geometry to vary the air entering the engines. This system is completely automatic and opens at speeds greater than Mach 1. Point 4. To control the supersonic shockwave and maintain a uniform airflow. Under the nose is this bulge you see here, which is a scanner for heat-seeking target acquisition. And it complements the radar. In aerial combat, the greatest advantage of the F-4 was its power. It's not unusual for an aircraft designed to fire radar-guided missiles beyond visual range, about 37 kilometers. It lacked the agility and maneuverability of its opponents, although the pilot said that the plane was very responsive and easy to fly. In 1972, the F-4E model was improved with leading-edge slats on the wings, which improved the angle of attack and maneuverability at the cost of a lower maximum speed. In Vietnam, the United States had high expectations for the F-4 Phantom because it had the best radar available and enormous firepower due to the number of missiles it could carry. However, in engagements with the lighter MiG-21, the F-4s were not always successful and began to suffer losses. This aircraft continued to form an important part of air power of the United States Armed Forces throughout the 70s and 80s, being gradually replaced by aircraft more modern ones like the F-15 Eagle and the F-16 Fighting Falcon in the Air Force, and the F-14 Tomcat as well as the F-18 Hornet in the Navy, and it also happened in the Marine Corps with the F-18. However, it continued to be used by the United States Air Force for reconnaissance and air defense suppression tasks in the Gulf War. In 1990, finally, they were retired from service in 1996. It was the only model of aircraft used by both United States military flight demonstration teams, the Air Force Thunderbirds, and the Navy Blue Angels. Outside the United States, the F-4 also served in the air forces of 11 other nations. The Israeli Air Force Phantoms saw combat in several Arab-Israeli conflicts, while Iran used its large fleet of Phantom fighters in the Iran-Iraq War. Other countries that used it were Germany, Spain, South Korea, Japan, Greece, Egypt, Turkey, and the United Kingdom. Although they had bought the used planes from the United States, they upgraded the avionics and replaced the engines with more powerful Rolls-Royce Spey engines. The Phantom 683 that we see here had a special role in the Vietnam War, specifically in Operation Bolo, which was carried out on January 2, 1967. It was exchanged for another plane to an American museum. Operation Bolo was a very well thought out deception for the North Vietnamese, who were used to easily hunting down the attack leaders. F-105 Thundersheep. And this time, they had disguised the Phantom II as Thundersheep, using the same altitude and speed formations as well as having a similar size. Also that the Mikoyan Gurevich fighters of the People's Army of Vietnam would go after this group of planes. After the initial surprise for the North Vietnamese pilots, the Phantom formations begin to launch Air Intercept Missile 9 Sidewinder and Air Intercept Missile 7 Sparrow missiles at the Asians. According to United States sources, they managed to shoot down 7 MiGs, 5 of which were acknowledged by Vietnam. Well, it's a story about this plane that we're looking at here, which you can see in this museum, and I thought it would be very interesting to tell you about it. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it until the next video. My name is Marcos and this is the Aeropedia of the world of aviation.